Hey there, hope you're all doing really well at home. Today's class is a short and sweet exercise routine for our hips, outer hips, glutes, and our core muscles, especially our pelvic floor, really helping us to support our lower back and those leg muscles as well. So if you are new to exercise or if you haven't exercised in a little while, just make sure that you have your medical practitioner's consent and that you're feeling well today, and if at any point during the sequence you start to feel unwell or you need a little break, then definitely do so. Remember to use your breath throughout. If you feel like the breath is shortened or you're holding your breath, then just relax, take a few moments, perhaps lay down, come into child's pose or a shavasana, and then set up again. So we're going to start today in a comfortable seat. That might mean cross-leg posture, or as I am in this Virasana modification. A little tip is just placing a block, a cushion, a pillow or anything underneath your sitting bones, allowing your glutes to move forwards just enough so you really feel grounded and rooted, but then you keep the back nice and straight as well. So feeling the hips, the glute muscles, the pelvic floor just drop, grounding and rooting. And then just begin to take your palms facing down onto the thighs. Give the shoulders a nice roll back and down. Close off the eyes if you'd like to. Start to come into your own breath. And again, you can always take the inhalation through the nose and the exhalation out of your mouth. But if you can, try and purse the lips together and just breathe through your nose throughout class today. Noticing if your breath is still up in the upper half of your chest. Nodding chin to chest just slightly so the back of the head lengthens, the spine. And then slowly moving your fingertips and your palms to your abdomen, just below those floating ribs. And start to feel your breath, inhaling. Exhaling, moving down into your lower abdomen, belly rises on the inhalation, belly falls on the exhalation. Fingertips draw apart, inhale, exhale, fingertips come together. Slowing the breath down. Arriving in this space. If you're able to, at the end of your exhalation, just take a moment to pause and just squeeze your pelvic floor, your bum muscles, and releasing on the inhalation. It's a little bit easier to contract the pelvic floor and the core when you exhale. And then sliding that left hand around to the side ribs, the back body, and just seeing if you can breathe into that space now. So imagining your abdomen almost like a cube and you're breathing into all those sides, filling all the way up, reaching every nook and cranny. Releasing your breath, inhaling. Exhaling out of the nose, and then when you're ready, this time turning your palms to face up on your thighs, on your knees. Take this moment just to set an intention, a purpose or a dedication for your practice. And of course, if you're in need of that energy today and you're in need of just a little bit of extra TLC, then devote this practice to yourself and really give that energy, that life force to yourself. Bowing the chin to the chest, taking that moment to stretch the neck, fluttering the eyelids open, looking down at the knees. And we're going to roll straight over from there onto all fours. So as we come onto all fours, we're going to place the hands underneath the shoulders, first finger pointing forwards, spreading the fingertips lovely and wide so we have a solid base. Knees underneath the hip, and we're just going to come into some cat and cow to mobilize the spine, So rounding the back as we exhale, looking between the thighs, looking at your belly button, chin to chest, rounding the back. And then on your inhale, a little soften of the elbows, you allow the hips to flare, to lift, the belly to drop, the chest, the collarbone, the heart to move forward. And then lastly, you gaze up with the eyes. No need to crank the neck here. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, arching, doming the back. Imagine someone pressing their hands on your shoulder blades and you're trying to press away. Inhale, rounding the back, the hips fly up, the belly drops, the chest and the heart comes through. Little tuck of the chin to the chest and then gaze up with the eyes. Last round, exhaling, chin to chest, pressing down through the tops of the feet, and then inhale, come through, opposing pose. Chest and heart comes forwards, pressing firmly down through the roots of the fingertips, the palms, that first knuckle especially, and then halfway between the two. From there, we're just going to take a little bit of a flossing action. And this action, you can either come up, if you're a little bit strong on your wrists, you can begin to just take the shoulder blades back. Imagine squeezing a pencil between your shoulders and then pushing a door away. Squeezing a pencil and pushing the door away. And just take a few of those, flossing of the shoulder blades. Imagine the shoulder joint almost like a floating joint, and we've got lots of movement there. If you know that you're strong through your wrists, you can do exactly the same by tucking the tailbone just enough, drawing the belly in towards the spine, and then just allowing, without the elbows bending, you're just going to lift and lower your chest up and down as your shoulders move, and then holding there. Big toes come to touch, knees stay nice and wide. Left hand underneath heart center. On the inhale, we're going to take that right hand all the way up, round, rotating and looking, gazing up towards the right thumb. If it's too much for the neck, you can continue looking down. Exhale, thread the needle, so taking that right hand underneath the left, either dropping down or just staying into a hover if it's too much for your spine. Inhale, come all the way up. So we're just going to take 3 of these. That's number 2. And dropping down. Last one. Inhale, lifting up. Allow the hips to move as well. And exhale, come through. Inhale, come back through center. Right hand underneath heart center. Just take a moment to reset. Just tuck the tailbone a little bit so we're nice and stable. Inhale, lift the left arm all the way round, looking up towards the left thumb. Exhale, dropping that left arm underneath the right and through. Inhale, come all the way up. Lift, lift, lift. Exhale, take that rotation through. And you can place the head down, side of the head for a moment. Inhale, come up. And exhale through. Really nice exercise to get some mobility through the thoracic spine and the back, or the back, which is the spine. And then release. Hands underneath the shoulders, take another cat stretch, cat and cow. Inhale. Halfway between the two. And then from there, we're going to take a little extra tuck. So imagine you have a tray of drinks on your back and you're trying to really flatten out your back. So you're tucking the tailbone under, belly towards the spine, nice and strong there. And then we're going to begin to take the right toes back. Now there's a tendency to lift the right hip here. See if you can try and keep it down. Keep drawing the belly in. And we're just going to hold it there and just take a moment to stretch that calf muscle out by rocking back and forth, seesawing back and forth, and then take a nice stable point. Keep pressing through the fingertips. On the inhale, the right leg lifts. And on the exhale, you're going to bend the right knee and try and draw it in towards your right elbow. Now, don't worry how far you go here. It's more about the control and the stability of the exercise. There's 2. Inhale. And there's 3. You don't need to lift the legs so high. Inhale back. Right hip drops, flex the foot, and this time left fingertips come forward, and you can tent the fingertips, keep drawing the belly in, holding there. Or you can begin to lift the left hand, palm begins to turn inwards, the neck stays nice and relaxed, and we're just going to hold for 5, 4, you can always bring the hand back down, 3, breathing in, 2, and 1. Lower the left hand, lower the right knee to the mat, come into our first child's pose. So knees can be wide here, we're trying to take our bum back towards our heels, and we can tent the fingertips as we lower the forehead between the arms. Just take a moment to stretch out, reset the lower back. Inhale, rise and come back up onto all fours, and really take your time here to reset. Tucking the tailbone under, belly towards the spine once again. The neck stays nice and loose. Eyes of the elbows facing forward, so we've got that external rotation of the arm bones. And then begin to step that left leg back. As we step the left leg back, drop that left hip down, and again just push into that left heel to stretch out the calf muscle. And then come back to that hover, and then from there lift that left leg up. Drop the left hip down and just see if you can hold equal weight through both arms if you can. Inhale, exhale, left knee towards left elbow. Inhale, draw away, nice and smooth. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, draw away, hold it there, drop the hip down, and then begin to walk the right fingertips forwards, tenting the hands if it feels good, or stretching that right arm forwards, turning the palm to face inwards and holding here. Good, breathing in, so make sure the breath is steady. We're finding that balance between strength and steadiness and ease and openness. Last breath, inhale and exhale. Right hand down, left knee down, drop back and down into your child's pose, forehead to the mat. Perhaps just take a movement from side to side if that feels nice. Inhale, this time coming all the way up onto the knees. Roll the shoulders back and down. We're going to step the left foot forwards from there. Just making sure as we step that foot forwards, it's far enough that when we just bend a little bit into the pose, our knee and ankle is tracking and the knee moves over towards the pinky toe side. We're going to take a strong tilt of the tailbone here to really flash open that right hip, and then we're going to squeeze our bum super, super tight. So really squeezing, it's very active, so it's nice symmetric, we're not moving here, it's static, but we're squeezing into it. You may take the hands to the top of the knee, and you might just hold, find your balance, spread the toes wide on both the left foot and the right foot. And if you need more, the palms can come to face forwards. And remember that flossing action, so we're trying not to round here, but tucking our shoulder blades into our back body. And then inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Continue to balance here. And then if it feels good and you need that little extra, left fingertips wrap around right wrist. And then we're just going to take a little side bend over to the left. Intensifying the stretch on that right hip flexor, front of the quad, front of the thigh. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale back through center, exhale the hands come down. Switching sides. Left knee comes back, right foot goes forwards. Find that 90-degree angle again. Tuck the tailbone under, so you flash open that left hip and really squeeze your bum here. Spread the right toes wide, make sure that right knee is tracking to the pinky toe side so you can see your big toe. Connection through the back foot, and just hold. Trying to really stretch out. It's a subtle stretch to that left side, but we're also working strongly to stabilize through our bum muscles. And then when you're ready, palms come to face forwards. Remember that flossing action again, the shoulder blades on the back body. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. Nice long straight arms. Working actively to keep them where they are. And then this time the right fingertips wrap around the left wrist, and we're just going to take a side bend over to the right hand side, opening up the left hand side of the body, tucking the tailbone under. Keep squeezing both bum cheeks, breathing in and breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale back through center, exhale the hands come down. Release the right foot back behind you, and if it feels nice, child's pose or just a seat, and take a moment from there to reset the spine, to come back to your breath, to find that space to breathe into. Exhale. From there, we're going to move all the way down onto our side bodies. So the right, I'm going to start on the right side, right forearm down, elbow, shoulder aligned. The knees are bent and the feet come behind us. And then all we're going to do from there, use the left hand, tented fingertips to prop ourselves up and come into a side plank or half side plank pose. Tucking the tailbone, squeezing the bum, working into that side. If you need any more, you extend the left foot down. You can lift the left hand up, and you can even extend that top left leg and angle the big toe down and the heel up, so we start to get into the left side of our hip, our glute. Holding 3 more breaths, inhale. You can always look down to the forearm if it's a little bit too much for the neck. Keep squeezing your bum, especially that right bum cheek. And then lower all the way down. As you lower down, you're going to extend that right arm out just to prop the head up. From there, you're going to walk the knees into the edge, the side edge of your mat. So as you glance down, you're going to be able to see your heels aligned with your hip. So we're going to work a little bit more through the legs here, but we need stability through our core and our lower back to work throughout this posture. So the hand can come down as a kickstand. And then from there, you're going to flex both feet. And then we're just going to begin to work that top leg. And again, the same as those Supermans or a variation of our tiger pose in yoga, we're going to stay controlled. So we're not going for big movements here. We're trying to move past any kind of jittery, if that's a word. Any movement that isn't smooth, basically. We're trying to smooth out the movement, stay in that muscle, and you may want to place your hand onto that top of the left bum or side of the cheek of the bum. And this is definitely, like a lot of the postures we're doing today, is all about repetition. And it's about creating as many repetitions as you can with control and gaining that feeling back in the body of what muscles are being activated and how it feels, how it senses in the body, which is why it's really important to use our breath. The breath is a guide for all of our postures. Good, lovely. We're going to finish there. Use that left hand to lift ourselves up. Take hold of the shin, the calf muscle, and then just come into a side body stretch. You can gaze underneath that right shoulder if it feels nice, bicep, or you can glance down. Release the right hand, sweep the legs around, and we're going to repeat exactly the same on the other side. So left forearm down, making sure the elbow and the shoulder are aligned. We're starting off tucking our hips and making a long straight line through the front of the body. You can extend that top right leg and then just begin to lift up onto that left knee, tent the hand, or take the right arm all the way up, coming into that side plank, modified side plank, holding here. You can always lift and lower if that feels good in the body, and you can extend that top right leg, angling the right toes down, the heel up, holding 3 more breaths, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, remember to keep the neck nice and relaxed here. Last breath, and lower all the way down. As we lower down, we're going to extend through the arm, Take the knees a little bit closer to the edge of the mat. So once we glance down, we can see our heels aligned with our hips. Tempt the right hand to bring us extra stability. And then from there, flex the feet, and we're gonna work into that top leg. Now, if this is too easy for you, definitely add more repetitions. Or if you have a resistance band, a glute band at home, you can definitely wrap that around the thighs. And then you're working against extra resistance as well. And definitely take it smooth and controlled, feeling into that top thigh. Trying to stay nice and steady, no movements of the bottom leg. Good, keep going. And you can always release that right hand. And of course you can always take the head all the way down. It's a little bit harder, I think, to be lying flat. You have to lift a little bit more through your core muscles, finding that space on the side body. And we're going to take 5 more, so you could start to feel the burn into that glute med. Good, last 2 and last 1. Knees together, use the right hand to lift yourself up, grab hold of the shins and come into that side body stretch. The gaze can be up underneath the bicep, or we're going to glance down, stretching all the way out through the left side of the body. Release that left hand, roll over from there onto your sitting bones, making sure that your feet are aligned, hip distance apart. Holding onto the underneath sides of the thighs, you're just going to gently roll yourself all the way back and down. You're going to draw the feet in just enough so you can graze your heels with your fingertips, making sure those knees aren't knocking in, or more importantly, on rolling out. From there, we're going to just start to have a little bit of imprinting. So to start off with, we should be able to fit our fingertips, our hands, underneath our lower back. And that's the natural curvature of your spine, so that's all good. But we want to start to engage our glutes here. So we're going to start to inhale and tilt our hips upwards so our lower back imprints onto the mat. And when we do that, we're then going to squeeze our bum and our pelvic floor, and we should want to feel that natural lift and rise of the bum and then the hips. And then release. Inhale, begin to tilt the hips. As you exhale, squeeze. And squeeze the bum and the pelvic floor that little bit more. And release. This time, as you inhale, imprint. And as you exhale, begin to lift and really initiate the movement with the breath. And you can definitely take your palms down here. And we're trying to squeeze our bum and keep everything nice and aligned. So our ribs aren't flaring here, they're staying tucked under. We're not trying to go for maximum height. We're just trying to keep the bum muscles, the pelvic floor and our hamstrings engaged, so the backs of the thighs. And then begin to roll all the way down as you inhale. Releasing the lower back so the fingertips can fit underneath. And exhale once again, tuck the tailbone, squeeze your bum, squeeze the pelvic floor, squeeze your hamstrings and begin to lift up. See if you can firmly press down through the back middle of your skull so the chin tucks into the chest a little bit. We find the length through the back of the neck. And then roll all the way down. Inhaling. Last one, exhale. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Draw the belly in towards the spine. Squeeze the bum, squeeze your hamstrings. Firmly press down through your big toe, through your heels, the ball of the foot, the 4 corners of your feet. And then roll all the way down. Now, if you know you have more, you're welcome to stay up. You're welcome to take more repetitions. If you'd like to, you can then just draw your knees in towards your chest. And try and keep the tailbone down here as you do that in Apanasana pose. And just rock from side to side, massage out the lower back. Extend the right leg nice and long and just hold that left knee in towards you. And you can just move in and out of the hips and just notice how that feels. We're going to start to slow it down now. Just take a couple of extra stretches before we come into our final pose, a restorative pose of Shavasana. If you want to take the leg and extend into more of a hamstring stretch, you can definitely bend the knee. Hold on to the hamstring or the calf muscle. Try not to hold on to the joint itself. Flex, point the toes. And then lower that left leg all the way down to the ground. Draw the right knee in. Again, find some movement in that leg through the hip joint. Moving the knee more towards the shoulder if it feels good, opening through the groin. Back through center, extend the leg all the way up, coming back into that hamstring. Bend the knee if you'd like to. Keep the shoulders soft, keep the neck relaxed. Flex, point the toes. Start to slow and deepen the breath. Bend the knee. And then we're going to finish in Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a really nice pose to open up the inner thighs, the groin. And you can take the palms underneath the thighs. Again, just tuck chin to chest. Feel the middle back of the skull onto the mat. Allow the arms to rest. Inhale through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. If you're able to stay here for a good 2 to 3 minutes, of course, if you want to extend the legs, if it's a little bit too much on the knees, come into Shavasana and take that restorative pose for as long as you need and for as long as you can. Ideally, as I said, 2 to 3 minutes. Slowing down the breath. If you were taking a Ujjayi breath, you can let that go now. Come into your natural easy breath and perhaps take some exhalations out of the mouth. Take a moment to sense how you're feeling, any changes in the body or even in your mind state. And then when you're ready, draw your knees together. If you've got somewhere to be, we'll close class here, lifting or rolling onto your right side of your body, coming back through into your comfortable seat, exactly where we started, cross-legged or into a hero's pose. Turn the palms to face up, give the shoulders a nice roll back and down. Inhale through the nose and a clearing, cleansing breath out of the mouth. Draw your thumbs through at heart center. Inhale and exhale. Thank you for coming onto your mats today. Namaste.